Hello and welcome, dear Rajeshwarian friends. This is your mentor Prabhat Sharma over here. And today again, we begin with prepositions. What actually are prepositions? Prepositions are short words, for example, on, in, or to, that usually stand in front of nouns and sometimes also in front of gerund verbs. Even advanced learners of English find prepositions difficult, as a 1:1 translation is usually not possible. One preposition in your native language might have several translations depending on the situation. There are hardly any rules as to when to use which preposition. The only way to learn preposition is looking them up in a dictionary, reading a lot of English literature, and learning useful phrases off by heart and other study tips. So what we see here is a preposition, which is a word or a group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, spatial relationships, or to introduce an object. Some examples of prepositions are words like in, at, on, of, and to. Here is a commonly used prepositions. It's a list of commonly used prepositions indeed. Above, across, against, along, among, around, at, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, by, down, from, in, into, near, off, OFF off, on, to. There are 5 different types of prepositions indeed. There are simple prepositions, double prepositions, compound prepositions, and participle prepositions, and also phrase prepositions. There are about 150 prepositions in English, yet this is a very small number when you think about the thousands of other words like nouns, verbs, etc. Preposition used in a sentence noun. The definition of a preposition is a word or a phrase that connects a noun or pronoun to a verb or adjective in a sentence. An example of a preposition is a word with in the following sentence: I am going with her. So prepositions are small words, short words. On, into, they are usually stand in front of nouns. There are hardly any rules as to when to use which preposition. The only way to learn preposition is looking them up in a dictionary or reading lot of English and using useful phrases of by heart. These are the few study tips which I recommend.
I would say most important prepositions. You see in, on, at, by, with, from, of, to, for, and about. And you see some other columns. Okay, First of all, my friend, you need to know the basic meaning. The basic meaning of each preposition is the first step, the most important thing. Remember the basic meaning. For example, in means inside. In the box. In the box means inside the box. In the box. So it's in the box. On, like on the table, on the table. You see. So my mobile phone, you see, was on the table, was on the table. So at school, at school. It's similar to in, at. You just need to remember some phrases and expressions. At school. We say at school, at work, at home. So my children are at school. By. So we often use it with passive voice. By him. The book was written by him. Okay? Next. With. I think you know such phrases as with you. For example, I want to learn English with you. With your help. I can do it with your help. From India. I'm from India. From China. He's from China. Of. For example, the name of the street. The name of the city. So we usually use it between two nouns. So name is a noun and street is a noun. Name is a noun and city is a noun. To. It's a preposition of movement. Remember these phrases. So we say go to school, go to work, go to school, go to work. For you. For example, this is for you. These lessons are for you. For students. So these lessons are for students. Or it's easy for students. It's easy for students. Okay, about it, about.
This is a robbery.
About myself, I can tell you, okay, let's talk about it. Or I want to tell you about myself. So, about myself, my name is Alexander, and welcome to this channel, English with Alexander. I try to upload very good videos, especially for you. And I want to tell you something about myself. It's just the first step or the first stage. You need to know the basic meaning of each preposition. Alright, my friends, very good, excellent. I hope you understand me, and I also hope you haven't forgotten to put a like. Thanks a lot, you're very generous. Alright, so the next step is that you need to know some fixed expressions. For example, if you look at in, it doesn't mean only inside, not only in the box. So we use it with such phrases as in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and so on, with years. For example, in 1999, and so on. On. It isn't only about things which are on the surface. No. For example, we use it with weekdays, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and so on. At. So it isn't only, about school, work. So we use it with time. So at 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and by. We know that we often use it with passive voice, like the book was written by him. But we can use it by when we talk about the future. For example, by 7. By 7. So I'll be there by 7. It means before 7. Yeah, my friend, first of all, you need to know these two things, these two columns. Okay, my friends, if you want me to write down all the examples I say, just let me know, and I can do it maybe in the next video. Let me know about it. Good. So, the basic meaning in So I live in India. I live in India. Or the fixed expression, I usually get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, just basic meaning and fixed expressions. So maybe it has the second meaning, the third meaning, the basic, second and third meaning. And some fixed expressions, you see, is the first stage, the first step. Next, my friend. So if you just understand the first column or the second column, so your level may be elementary or a little higher. If you want more, if you want to have an advanced level, so you need to understand what prepositions we use with adjectives, with different adjectives. So we use, different prepositions with different adjectives. For example, in. You need to remember, we say interested in. Interested in. I'm interested in. For example, I'm interested in this, hobby. I'm interested in this hobby. Or I'm interested in this thing. Or you can say keen. Keen on. It's also an adjective. Keen on is like interested. So I'm keen on music. It means that I'm interested in music or I like music. Dependent on. Dependent on. So he is, dependent on his parents. It means that he depends on his parents. Dependent on. Then, if you look at these words, good and bad at, you can say, okay, I'm good at English. It means that you know English really well, or I'm bad at maths. So you don't know maths or mathematics. Yeah. By. We often use by with shocked and surprised. Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised by the quality of this video. Or I'm shocked by the news. But you also need to pay attention to the fact that sometimes, my friend, one adjective, can be used with two prepositions. So you can say shocked by or surprised by, or you can also say shocked at or surprised at. So it's also correct. Okay, I also have to tell you one very important thing in addition to all this information just a bit later. Okay, so fed up with. Yeah, I would say fed up with. When you don't like it, okay, I'm fed up with this criticism. Yeah, next, impressed. So we can say impressed with, and you see that it's also possible impressed by. So I was impressed by the beauty of that place, or I was impressed by her beauty, or I was impressed by the beauty of her soul, or of his soul. Different, we mostly say different from. So this method is very different from others. So it means that really this method is very different. It differs from others. Okay, of. So there are many adjectives which we use with of. You see fond of. I'm fond of English. I really like it. I'm proud of your results. Means that I'm really happy that you have these results. Afraid. I'm not afraid of it. It means I have no fear. Typical. It's a very common mistake. So you need to say typical of. I know that students often say, okay, it's very typical for him. No, not typical for, typical of. Remember, it's very typical of him. Alright, next, married. Married to. Yeah, students often make mistakes with this, adjective. So, he's married to her. He's married to her. Similar to. This video maybe is similar, to actually one video which we recorded earlier, but it's a more detailed video. So similar, has a similar, meaning or context and so on. 4. Famous. So this city is famous for its history. It means that we know this city because of his history. Ready. Ready? Are you ready for it? Ready for something. But if you have to use a verb, you say ready to do. Okay, are you ready for it? But are you ready to do it? Ready to do something, ready to do if you have a verb. But if you don't have a verb, ready for. You just need to remember it, my friends. You see, angry. So say angry about something. So I'm very angry about this situation, but angry with someone. I'm very angry with him. It means that I don't like him, or I don't like what he does. You see. Okay, good. So my friend, so when you read, when you listen to someone or something, pay attention to prepositions after adjectives and remember them. Remember these phrases, not only in, but remember, so this phrase, interested in, not only on, but remember, keen on, not only surprised, but surprised by or shocked by. So if you don't remember it, you'll continue making thousands of very silly mistakes or thousands of unnecessary mistakes which you don't need at all. Okay? So you need to get rid of these mistakes, completely. Okay, so you see. And next, if you look at one more column, you need to memorize some verbs. And I included most important phrases, especially for you, and different adjectives, verbs, and prepositional phrases, and also phrasal verbs. So succeed in, when you have success. So I succeeded in doing it. So it means I did it very well. Depend on. You see, it depends on you. Love. Don't laugh at me. Abide. Abide means follow, abide by. So you need to abide by the rules, or you need to follow the rules. Live with, just it's an ordinary, preposition and an ordinary context. So he lives with her, or together. Escape from. So they escaped from the police. It means they ran away. Next, accuse of. He was accused of murder. So other people thought that he had murdered someone. Consist of. So you see that this presentation consists of several slides. There are several slides in this presentation. Happen, you see, happen to. It happened to me, not with. I just don't know why, but students often say happen with. No, never and never. Never, never, never. So happen to. It happened to me. Wait for. So I'm waiting for you. Don't forget, wait for. And talk, you see, talk about. Let's talk about it. But you know that we can see that sometimes we can use different prepositions after a verb. For example, if you say talk about, it means discuss, but you can say talk to or talk with. For example, I talked to him or I talked with him. It's also possible or acceptable. It means that we had a conversation. Okay, there are other verbs. For example, listen to me. But what you need to do is the following. So when you see a verb and a preposition after him, so try to memorize it immediately. Not only a verb, not only preposition separately, but together. Succeed in, depend on, laugh at, and so on. Okay, you see, it's the second stage. Alright, but it's also very important to know different phrases, not only words. So if you know only English words, you'll speak English unnaturally, and it means not like native speakers. If you want to speak English fluently and naturally, you need to use real phrases which are really used in everyday English. So you see different prepositional phrases. Just remember it. In a doubt. So you can say, I'm in a doubt. I don't know what to do. On holiday. He is on holiday. Means he isn't working at present. Maybe he is swimming in the sea or he went to another country. At a loss. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. By mistake. So actually, I opened it by mistake. It means that I was going to do another thing, so it happened accidentally, although I didn't want it. With all my heart means very much. I love you with all my heart means I love you very much. Okay, you see, from now on, it means from this moment and later. So it will be from now on. Waste of time. So it's a complete waste of time or it's a complete waste of money. To the best of my knowledge, a very natural speaking expression. It means as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, yeah? So you need to use this method. Okay, for ages. It means for a very long time. You can say, I haven't seen you for a very long time. Or simply you can say, I haven't seen you for ages. I haven't seen you for ages. Okay, good. For ages. And next, maybe you will see it better here. Be about to. Yeah. So sometimes, yeah, you need to actually to pay attention to grammar too. There are some phrases when you need a certain preposition, like be about to. It means it will happen soon. So the president is about to arrive. It means the president will arrive soon. So it's about vocabulary and grammar at the same time. Be about to. Yeah? So sometimes it's about, grammar. Just remember, be about to. So he is about to arrive. They are about to arrive. It means they'll arrive soon. Alright, very good. Yeah, and you see, you also need to keep in mind phrasal verbs, most common phrasal verbs. Like, within, get in, it means get inside. So he managed to get in, or he managed to get inside the car. Go on, my friend, you can say please, or our teacher, please can go on recording new videos. So look at this slide, get by. So how do you get by? It means how do you earn money for a living? How do you live on this money? Put up with means tolerate. I can't put up with this situation. I can't tolerate it, so it's too much for me. Come from. Where do you come from? Or where are you from? I come from, Vietnam. Or I come from India. I come from Russia. Off. But if you look at phrasal verbs, we don't use off. We use off. So O and double F. For example, turn off. Turn off the sound. Get to. So it's like get to. It means reach. So he got to work. It means he reached that place. He got to work. And you see, look for. It means when you try to find. So I'll look for new interesting videos, or I'm looking for my keys. I'm trying to find my keys. Maybe it's better here. And do about. So I can do nothing about it. So I can't change it. Okay, my friends, very good. It was a very intensive course. So you can watch this video again. Yeah, and I think that you can make pauses if you want to try to translate everything and understand everything. Yeah, and you also just can read it again. So basic meaning, fixed expression, adjectives, verbs.
So what we see here, there are two important or very important rules to remember when using prepositions, because they are somewhat vague. Learning about prepositions and using them correctly in sentences takes practice, because one-on-one translation is all often impossible when dealing with prepositions. Even the most advanced English students have some difficulty at first. The first rule is that to make sentences clear, specific prepositions are needed. So to make the sentences clear, we require specific prepositions. For example, the preposition in means only one thing, and the preposition on cannot substitute for it in all cases. Some prepositions are interchangeable, but not always. The correct preposition means one particular thing, and using a different preposition will give a sentence a very different meaning. So meanings will be changed. I want to see you in the house now, Bell, means something very different from I want to see you on the house now, Bill. In the house means the bill should go through the door, walk inside, and stand in the hall or a living room. On the house means Bill would need to get a ladder and climb to the roof, and he would be on the top of the house. The second rule for using preposition is that prepositions are generally followed by nouns or pronouns. There was a time in the past when teachers held strictly to this rule, but it made for some clunky sentences. I am seeking someone I can depend on ends with the preposition on. So people who insisted that sentences shouldn't end with a preposition would be forced to use convoluted and unnatural phrasing. To avoid ending that sentence above with a preposition, you'd have to say, someone I can depend on is whom I am seeking. There are more than 100 prepositions in English language. In addition, there are endless possibilities for creating prepositional phrases. Phrases that begin with a preposition and end with a noun and a pronoun, they are known as prepositional phrases. In the following sections, you will find examples of prepositions, types of prepositions, a comprehensive list of prepositions, and some helpful preposition exercises. As you read the examples and study the list, remember that prepositions usually convey concepts such as comparison, direction, place, purpose, source, position, and time. And we also have examples of prepositions. In the following sentences, examples of prepositions have been italicized. We shall see. As you read, consider how you use different prepositions or even different types of prepositions in place of the examples might change the relationships between the rest of the words in the sentence. For example, I prefer to read in the library. I prefer to read in the library. Second, he climbed up the ladder to get onto the roof. I shall repeat. He climbed up the ladder to get onto the roof. Please sign your name on the dotted line after you read the contract. Please sign your name on the dotted line after you read the contract. Go down the stairs and through the door. Go down the stairs and through the door. He swam across the pool. He swam across the pool. Take your brother with you. So there are several other examples which we see here, like abroad. We went abroad the boat. What do you think about Mary? Above. We are flying above the clouds. Across. We drove across the desert. After. Let's meet the day after tomorrow. Against. Did you vote for or against the suggestion? Along. There are trees along the road. Alongside. The boat came alongside a boat. Amid, I couldn't hear her amid the noise. Among, is there a doctor among us? Around, they all sat around the campfire. As Ram is as tall as Anthony. At, we are aiming a sale of $3 billion. Before, I would rather die before doing that. Behind, the child was hiding behind the tree. Below, much of Holland is below sea level. Beneath, the tunnel runs beneath the sea. During, I was bored during the whole film. Following, we had coffee following lunch. In, I live in an apartment. I live in an apartment. Inside, it was dark inside the tunnel. It was dark inside the tunnel. On into 5 into 10 makes 2. 5 into 10 makes 2. Like, it's not like John to complain. It's not like John to complain. No, it's 20th December. We are very near to Christmas. I shall repeat for you. It's 20th December and we are very near to Christmas Day. Only 5 days ahead, of course. Of what is the cost of this book? What was the cost of this book? Of we live in a street of 5th Avenue. On we live on a busy road. It's very noisy. We live on a busy road. It's very noisy. Outside, it was very cold outside the car. Over. Let's discuss over. Let's discuss it over dinner. I shall repeat. Let's discuss it over dinner. Throughout, he worked throughout the day and most of the night. He worked throughout the day and most of the night. 2. The museum is open from Monday to Friday. I am repeating it again. The museum is open from Monday to Friday. Towards. He drove off towards the mountain. Again, I shall read out for you. He drove off towards the mountain. This is an example of towards. Under. We drove under a bridge. Underneath. The nurse put a pillow underneath his head. The nurse put a pillow underneath his head. Up. Jack and Jill ran up the hill. Up. Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Do you all remember that nursery rhyme? Really. Now we come on to the next example. Upon. I need a book upon biochemistry. I need a book upon biochemistry. 37th. Via. We flew from Paris to Bangkok via Dubai. Once again, I shall repeat for you. We flew from Paris to Bangkok via Dubai. Within, there's a modem within the computer. There's a modem within the computer. I'm reading out once again. There's a modem within the computer. Guys, before we end, I'll read out 100 important preposition list for you. They are most important 100 prepositions which are used in day-to-day English grammar, and let's see what they are. First is about, second above, third abroad, fourth according to, fifth across, sixth after, seventh against, eighth ago, ninth ahead of, 10th along, 11th amidst, 12th among, 13th amongst, 14th a path, 15th around, 16 as, 17 as far as, 18 as well as, 19th aside, 20th at, 21 away, 22nd because of, 23rd before, 24 behind, 25 below, 26 beneath, 27 beside, 28 besides, 29th between, 30th beyond, 31st but, 32nd by, 33rd by means of, 34th close to, 35th despite, 36th down, 37th due to, 38th during, 39 except, 40th for, 41st from, 42nd hence, 43rd in, and the 44th will be in accordance with, 45th in addition to, 46th in case of, 47th in front of, 48th in lieu of, 49th in place of, 50th in spite of, 51st into, 52nd inside, 53rd instead of, 54th into, 55th like, 56th near, 57th next, 58th next to, 59th notwithstanding, 60th of OF of, then 61st OFF of, 62nd on, 63rd on account of, 64th on behalf of, 65th on to, whereas 66th is on top of, and the 67th being on to, 68th is opposite, 69th is out, and the 70th is out from, 71st being out of, 72nd means outside, 73rd as over, 74th owing to, 75th past, 76th per, 77th prior to, 78th round, 79th since, 80th tan, 81st through, 82nd throughout, 83rd is till, 84 times, 85th is to, 85th toward, 87th is towards, 88th under, whereas 89th it will be underneath. Now come to the 90th, that is unlike, and 91st is until. They are all alphabetically ordered, okay? 92nd on to, 93rd up, whereas 95th fourth is upon, 95th is via means going through something, 96th with, 97 with a view to, 98 within, last but one, 99th without, and the century one, the last, the 100th one is worth. So there is a list of a few important, or maybe saying that 100 important prepositions. That's a list of 100 important prepositions. We have seen a lot of prepositions today, and towards the end of the lecture of the online class of English about preposition, what we have learned is about 100 different prepositions. It's a list of 100 different prepositions. I hope you all have understood whatever has been taught today, and you would practice a lot about prepositions now and day. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye and good luck. God bless you all.